Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The purpose of this channel is to give you some real life reviews of tackle that's been out on the bank, reviewed by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. As I say with all of my videos, just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but I'll try and give you all the information so you can make your own mind up. Today I'm doing another reel, and some of you may have recently seen my Guru Aventus reel review, and today we're looking at the Shimano Aero XR reel. As I said on my last reel video, when you pick a reel up or when it turns up and you open the box, I always think it's a bit underwhelming. You just kind of think, yeah, that's fine. It's only when you get out and you test a reel in real life conditions with fish on that you can get a good feel for it. This reel's had quite a big launch recently. It's part of Shimano, I think, up in their game for the UK market, and following the controversy of them removing the anti-reverse lever on their reels, they have put it back on for this one, and they're making a big play of that. So I play fish on the clutch. I don't have a problem with that, but there are plenty of people out there still playing fish using backwind, and this now enables them to do that. As I said, I did the Guru Aventus, and it wasn't a reel for me. It was too heavy, and I really didn't think the line lay was good enough. It was a really, really nice reel. I sold it, and I bought this new Shimano. Now, I'm not one for all the fancy stuff, and every time you look at a reel, you will get loads of blurb of loads of features that are supposed to mean something. So let's take this reel for example. It's got a C14 plus main body. It's got G-free body positioning, Magmun-like asymmetric rotor, cold forged Hagen drive gear, silent drive system, ARC long cast spool. That means nothing to me. Doesn't really matter what they're all trying to plug. It's what it's like when you get out and the feel of the reel. If you've seen the Guru review, you will see that my current reels are Cadence CS10 for all float work, and I have 3 Preston Magnitude 420s for my feeder work. I don't do any long distance. 50 metres is exceptional for me. Almost everything is 40 metres and below, and those reels meet my needs and serve me really well. So here's the new Shimano reel. And the first thing to say, and I said this about the Guru because it was a very good looking reel, this is also a thing of beauty. Now, it's not flashy, it's understated, it's black, there's actually no logos on the main body of it. Everything, all the writing and fonts that they use, they're all on the spool that you get with this. But I do think it looks a really classy reel. You get a spare spool with it, and the spare spool isn't identical to the main spool. The spare spool's got a plastic rim there. This one's got a metal rim. I don't think it really matters. Lots of my reels have got plastic rims. Never had an issue with them. You do get a couple of small line reducers, and I'll put some photos here, and they can go on one of the spools to make it much shallower. So the main spool itself has got a stated capacity of 0.30 diameter, 180 meters. Now, I tend to use 020, so effectively you're going to need 300 meters to fill that. I tend to use backing and 150 of my choice. With the reducer, it's perfect for around 150 meters of 020, or you can also put a bit of backing and put a bit of braid on, which I did with one of them. This is a very light reel, 261 grams on the scales, so that by comparison, the Guru, which I said was too heavy, was 461 grams. It was very heavy. But my Preston Magnitude, fantastic reel, that's around 320 grams. So this is lighter still. So one of the features that I like and seems to put people off is the handle. So I've got the handle set there, I'm all set, I'm using it. To loosen the handle, hold the body and wind backwards half a dozen times, and then you can fold it in. This is exactly the same as the Cadence reels that I've got, and I've never had one come loose during use. So to put it back in place, hold the body, wind it through until it's tight, and that's it. It won't come loose unless you've got the anti-reverse on and then you pull. But why would you do that? If you've got the anti-reverse off, it will just flow backwards. It will not come loose during normal use. It's got a single line clip on the reel, and it's like a metal one. But one thing I did notice from a video that Nick Speed did was you can hook the line round twice on this, and I have tested that in practice. So the Preston reel's got 2 line clips, and I don't use it very often, but when you do need to, it's quite handy. But I didn't realise, but with this one, you can put the line round twice, so it's as good as 2 line clips. It is a little bit retro in that it has a silver bail arm, which is something out the 80s and 90s. Most reels seem to have black bail arms now. So it was quite funny when I saw it. It seems very sturdy. I've never bent a bail arm in my life. This one looks fine, but it's just part of the styling. It doesn't have a push button spool, and it has a front drag, which is what you need nowadays if you're kind of match style fishing. I think the front drags are excellent. It's got a retrieve ratio of around 4.8 to 1. What does that mean? It means if you start there with the handle and do a full turn, it'll turn that round nearly 5 times. The spool diameter is around 5 centimetres, and I'll put a photo here of it on top of the Preston Magnitude one, and the Magnitude is about 1 millimetre wider. And in my other video, I put the Magnitude on top of the Guru, which was another millimetre wider. There isn't a standard for 4,000 reel sizes, but they're all very similar. It cost just a penny under £130. The Guru was £220. The Magnitude that I use are just over £100. There's no great discounts on these. You can get an odd couple of pounds off, but I think the way that Shimano work with their dealers, they don't like big discounting like Drennan. The big question, what's it like out on the bank? And I've been out a number of times. So I've been carp fishing with this 3 or 4 times. I've been braid on the canal, feeder fishing about 6 or 7 times. So I've got a real good feel for what this reel is like. And what I will say, straight out the box, no fiddling about with washers. I think the line lay is very good. It isn't perfectly straight down, but it's pretty close. You'll see there that I haven't filled it right to the brim, and I know some people get obsessed by this, but the distances I fish, I think you're just risking tangles if you put them right to the brim on any reel on a windy day. I never have a problem doing it just a couple of mil back. It's a very smooth reel, and Shimano were the name in reels in the 90s. I think they produced the smoothest reels at that time. I think they lost their way a little bit and they didn't seem to market themselves too well, but I do think it's a fantastic smooth reel with really good cranking powder. You don't feel it when you've got a big fish, you don't feel it kind of pulling or not turning smoothly. The real highlight of this is the clutch mechanism, which is the very best I've ever used. The Guru had fantastic. Now the Magnitude is a brilliant clutch and a brilliant reel. This is just ever so slightly better. It's got more adjustment. It gives line ultra smooth. I think the clutch is absolutely fantastic. I've had no issues with the line clip. I do like the weight of it. I think that's great. I've had no line twist. It's got a big oversized roller there. I play fish on the clutch. I have done for the last 18 months. The previous 40 years I used backwind, so you can change. And I've had no problems, and I've played lots of carp where they're taking a lot of line and then retrieving, and I've had no line twist at all. Slight niggle is I love the line reducer, so you don't need to put as much line on the spool. It would be great if both spools came with the line reducer, because for me 150 meters of line is 3 times the maximum distance I'm ever going to fish, and it's just faffing around putting back in line on otherwise. Overall, this is an excellent reel. I really like this reel. I think it's a feeder reel. I think it's a bit slow for the waggler. You'd be fine using it for the waggler, but I've got my cadence reels which are faster, and I get on well for them with the waggler. I think it's got really good line lay. I think the weight, and I think the cost of it, the price, I think they've priced it very sensibly. It's in that kind of 100 to 150 mark. I've got the Preston Magnitude. What I'm not going to do is sell my Magnitudes and buy these. This is slightly better on the clutch, but there's other things that I think the Magnitude is slightly better. I think they're quite comparable. This one's probably slightly better, but then it's 25 quid more. The next step up for this, you're probably looking at a Preston Centris. They're around the 140 to 150, so another 10, 15 quid on top. I do fancy trying one of them and doing another review. It's just I can't justify buying more and more reels. But I'm not selling this. I'm keeping this. I think this is a fantastic reel. I've quite simply, I've not had a problem in all the time I've been using it. I've had no wind knots. I've not had the bail arm shut. I've had no problems. It's just worked perfectly on the sessions I've been using it. I think it's good to kind of 50 meters. I think when you're getting past 50 meters, you want the longer spool reels. You want something more designed for the job. Yeah, you could probably cast 100 meters with it, but it's not what they're designed for. I think this is the perfect feeder reel, really, for that 40 to 50 meter maximum range that you're going to be fishing on most commercials and a lot of other menus up and down the country. All in all, a big tick from me, a lovely reel. If you've got any questions about the reel, now reels are really personal things, and what some people like, some people don't like. So you've got to bear that in mind, that I know I've had reels that I didn't get on with, and my mate's had them and he loved it. So reels are very personal, how you use it, how you play fish, all that kind of thing. That's it for today. Quick video. I hope I've given you all the details you need about this reel. Please give me a thumbs up and a like. That helps me along. If you want to subscribe, you get automatically notified of future videos. There are 50 videos now on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go back and look through those, they're all there for you to have a look at. Until next time, tight lines.